G'day and welcome to the channel. We have a new season of Pokemon Champions upon us. So I've spent the last 12 hours updating the website, getting as much verified information as I can. So if you do spot any inconsistencies or errors, please leave them in the comments below and we will try to adjust them as quick as possible. But primarily what you'll see in the Pokedex, so here's all our original available Pokemon. Then down the bottom, we will begin to see, a bit further down, our new Pokemon that are being added. So we've got Sceptile, Blaziken, Swampert, Mawile, Metagross, Staraptor, Scolipede, Scrafty, Electros, Pyroar, Malamar, Baracle, Dragaggle, Phalanx, and then those are the megas. And then they've just also added Vileplume, Quillfish, Mushana, Grimmsnarl, Overquill, Houndstone, Annihilate, and Goldengo. So yeah, we've got all the abilities. We've got all the mega abilities. So they're all in and available. So we can see what this has done to our speed tiers. So we can see Sceptile Mega has entered our A tier speed, pretty close to the top. Ties with Mega Beedrill, still Aerodactyl and Alakazam Megas at the top. We can see our Raichu Mega Y. Our Pyroar Mega has certainly got quite a bit of a speed boost. So again, you can see, and then there, the green line will indicate A tier. So that's anything with 1/3 or top 1/3 speed. So at the moment, it should go to about 148. So the way this works is you could essentially expect Gorgeist with a, so if our thing is Gorgeist and Lycanroc Midnight, so if I go to the top and I can put in Lycanroc Midnight and I can give it a choice scarf and it gets close to the top, but in compared to our, is there a normal Gorgeist? Our normal Gorgeist with the choice scarf will 223 outspeed. So that's the idea of the green tiers. But yeah, you've also got an option to insert something into the speed tier to see where it lands. You can do so. Another good one to have a look at is, say, Sharpedo. Not so much with a scarf, but after one speed boost, it's up to 241 if you max Jolly. If you just max it, it's up to 220. If you invest nothing, yeah, it'd drop down to where in here. So again, when you have an input, it'll go yellow for all the speed ties. So you can see after one speed boost where it lands. All the items have been updated. So nothing new with the type plates, but we got some new held items. So we've got Big Root, Damp Rock. So we get all the weather items that increase the duration of weather. We've got Expert Belt. So they're not giving us Choice Scarf or Choice Band, but they'll give us Focus Band. Or sorry, yeah, Expert Belt and Muscle Band down here. So that gives us an extra 1.1 physical damage. And then there's the Life Orb, which gives us 1.3 damage, and the Wise Glasses, which give our special attacks 1.1 power. We also have Zoom Lens, so accuracy times 1.2, Wide Lens, accuracy 1 by 1. But the Zoom Lens is only if it moves after the target, so it's conditional. So typically you'll see more Wide Lens than Zoom Lens. Yeah, we got Smooth Rock, Shed Shell, and we got Metronome. So if you're using the attack more than once, it does extra damage. We'll see many of Grimmsnarl Light Clay, I would expect, over the coming months. We've also got access to Iron Ball. So if you want to halve your speed and or gift that to your opponent to half their speed, that's usually typically how Iron Ball gets played. We'll see some new abilities that have been added. Moves, the battle info hasn't changed much. All of that's still there. We've got some weather and terrain information there to add. Our coverage would have updated. So because our pool is now larger and includes different Pokemon will rise and uh, shrink in the ladder. So Mega Floette's still number one. You know, that Light of Ruin just does more than enough damage to carry it through. But we can see Chandelure has popped up because there's a few extra ghost Pokemon that have been added. So it gets a bit better coverage. Pidgeot Mega still hasn't moved. It's still pretty solid there. We've got a new contender now. We've got Vileplume coming in. And that'd be predominantly because, yeah, Sludge Wave and Leaf Storm is pretty good coverage for Vileplume. Typically, you'll run some sort of powder, like a sleep powder or a um, other, yeah, some powder move, and then like protect if you're doing doubles. But otherwise, yeah, you got access to, Moonblast, Pollen Puff if you want a bit more variety. But yeah, you can also just search if you want to have a look, see where your Pokemon ends up, and yeah, just get some ideas, inspirations. Like, yeah, obviously Psychic's going to be doing a lot of coverage. Moonblast in the format does decent coverage. You got a lot of dragons and darks to cover for, unless you want to do Shadow Ball to cover for all the psychics and ghosts. So again, you've got some just options there, and they're the mathematical maximum damage moves that this Pokemon can use against each of the other opponents. So that information is available. Then we have into team tools. So builder, not much would be impacted. You've still got the ability to build teams. Draft. So now we can start inputting our new megas and we can start drafting some new teams based on their typing and ability. So we can see, Aggron seems to be a good synergistic couple for Sceptile Mega. And you can do this to, create teams, go through, get some inspirations on combinations of, what is going to pair well together. And then, yeah, you can even do something like this. And then, you've got extra options now for the algorithm to recommend. So have a go at that. And yeah, you can just open them straight into Team Builder, which is pretty cool. And you can see where you ended up, what you ended up building. We've also got our calculators. So this is something that I want to spend some time just testing this week. Some of the results haven't changed. However, the options that we've got have changed. So, our Water Fairy is still Azumarill Primarina. Our Steel Ground, still Excadrill, Steelix, and Stunfisk. But our Fighting Dark, we now have access to Scrafty instead of or on top of Pangoro. So that's something that we can play around with. And yeah, our Grass Dragon is no longer Hydrapple, Flapple, and Appleton. We actually get Sceptile Mega now. So doing something like that, I think, might be where we start our week off. We can move down to Max Resist. So that's pretty much the same team that we had last week, the mathematical maximum resist team, except now we have access to Goldengo. So that team's pretty much already built. We'll just have to recalculate it for the changes in the meta. Min total, I don't think has changed at all. So we've still got a build there that we haven't tested out yet, but something we'll get onto. Min week, I think a bit of an interesting, not really, again, you're still limited with the Aggron and the Orthworm. Again, something with Scrafty, and then, yeah, it's Fire Grounder to kind of finish that off. But it's a bit of a mix of slow and fast teams, and Camerupt really excels in potentially, trick room teams. But that's something we can play around with. And then Min Super Week, I think, is something that we can cover after our Max Super Resist. Because again, you've got Lopunny Mega, Rotom Heat, Crocodile. We've got, we can do Decidueye in here. Again, Primarina. And then, yeah, this is something to test our Metagross Mega, in comparison to Chimecho Mega. So that might be a cool Metagross team that we could build later in the week. And we've also got access to our excludabilities teams. So here now we can see Clefable Mega, we can see Annihilate, which would be cool. We can see Mega Pyroar, and yeah, whether we keep with Rhyperior or change that around. I think that's looking like a pretty decent team to test out. Our max resist team that we built in the previous week is still pretty much intact. Excadrill Tyranitar. We've got Staraptor, which we can play around with now as an alternative to Pidgeot Mega. So it's something to change. We've still got our water fighting. We've still got our grass fairy. And again, we've got our Goldengo that we can sneak in here. Our min total has changed with the addition of Pyroar. So the normal fire now takes a little bit more dominance to give us, min total damage. So again, that looks like something that we could potentially play around with. We can even try, our Taurus Aqua. So I think that might be a cool team to play around with. And yeah, you're not really stuck with Dedenne, but you can swap that for something electric, something fairy. Looks to be like what you would put Focus Sash on. So a bit of a play around there, and that might give us a chance to showcase Pyroar Mega. Coming down to Min Week, again, something with Scrafty, Corviknight, Primarina, something like that. I don't think that's changed too much since last week before the changes. And then again, yeah, Min Super Week is another one where we'll be showcasing our Pyroar Mega. And I think that's actually Min Super Week is the same as our Min Total. So, it's had two different goals to minimize the overall damage multiplier sum across the team and minimize the number of 4-time weaknesses across the team. And it's come up with the same result. So not unexpected, but again, just the impact that the addition of just a small amount of Pokemon can do gives us access to a few more type combinations. And again, rather than having to manually go through it all, it's just Team Calculator to have a bit of inspiration. But let's go ahead and build out our Mega Scrafty. I'm keen to test out Mega Sceptile. I'm expecting there might be a few Mega Raichus out there that we can catch on a Lightning Rod. So if we open that in a team builder, we can see most of our abilities are set. We will grab Mold Breaker and Liquid Voice. We have done a Primarina in the past, and you can see the edit now opens down the bottom. Just something I'm trialing. You've got some options to move around here, but looking at that, I think our Excadrill might stay with the Focus Sash. And yeah, we want to go Jolly. And if we're going Jolly, we may as well go Max and Max. And then we put the last two in here. And then we can always just make sure with our Excadrill and we go Jolly, what our speed tiers are. So, if we are going to go 32, what are we competing with? Oh, that reset. Go back down. We got Babarkle and Malamar Mega. So maybe if we see a few of those, we definitely want to be outspeeding the Rotoms. So we definitely want to be putting 31, and yeah, that might be an extra bit of a bonus. So we'll definitely put 32 into there. And then we come down here. So, and then we're going to be doing singles initially to try and get ourselves up to Master Ball in singles before we do and focus on doubles. So we'll have our Earthquake, and then we'll have our Iron Head, Rock Slide, and we need Rock Slide. Do we have any other rock moves? Let's have a look to see if our coverage for Excadrill changes. It's still Earthquake, Iron Head, and Mega Horn for a bunch of the grass and dark stuff. So let's have a quick look. If we go back to here and we open up our Pokedex and we're looking at physical, it reckons Megahorn. It's huge base power, bit of a risky. So let's have a look. So yeah, 85 is not terrible. Bug. Otherwise, it's X Sizzle. Otherwise, we could do Throat Chop, Poison Jab. We've got kind of Iron Head. I reckon, or we could do Swords Dance, but I think maybe X Sizzle might be something, or maybe we just keep it Rock Slide for now. Maybe that's our answer for Charizards, if they're still going to be around, which I think they might be. So the other alternative is we can just have a look at, we could Rock Slide's probably, well, we've got Rock Tomb, a bit more accurate, but a little less damage. No flinch, but reduces their speed. Could be good. We've also got Rock Blast. Same accuracy, but little bit. And this is where some of your special rock moves are pretty good, but we'll play around with that. Our Primarina, so we can also just navigate this now, so we can jump straight to Primarina here. We can go here, straight to Primarina, and we're probably just going to have a look at no speed investment and see if we need to outspeed anything with our nature. So got, I don't think there's going to be many of those. With speed tie with Grim Snarl if we go full timid. Otherwise we're down to Clawitzer, Scrafty. Not going to run into too many Pangoros or Jolly Machamps. So then we come down to here and think maybe we don't need timid initially, but again, playtesting could change that. We've got Electros. Do we want to be faster than Electros? Are there going to be, I reckon there's going to be a few of those. Otherwise, we definitely want to be faster than a Powden. We're going into singles. We're probably going to see them quite a bit. And yeah, our Liquid Voice is going to be our way to get not Hyper Beam, but Hyper Voice going. So that we get 90 base power, 28. I think the other one is like Dazzling Gleam because we don't really have access to Moonblast. If we put Fairy, oh, we do have access to Moonblast. So yeah, if we're going singles, we'll change that to Moonblast for now, and then we'll swap that over to Dazzling Gleam when we hit doubles. But yeah, somewhere at 24 is a good with the 80 and 95 base power. But we also ran Mystic Water last time as well, and that really just cranks up the Hyper Voice to 108. And that gives us about 27, and then our remaining is 10 hit points. And I think that's pretty good, so we'll just copy that, pop it in here. And then our last one, if we're not looking at Fairy, we're looking at Special. We can have a quick look at status, see if there's any status moves here that we want to include. Otherwise, we'll just go to Special. Again, have a look at, I think, Energy Ball. Do we have really much grass coverage? I mean, we've got Sceptile, but yeah, I think Energy Ball here could be good. And a Protect. We've got, we'll have to go Modest. Does that change our output at all? We go Modest. Yeah, bumps us up to 29. So 29, 29, 8 if we're modest. So we'll do that. And just do that here. So if that was 8 and that was 29, we're modest. So that gives us, yeah, about 192 special attack. And yeah, we're very specially defensive, not so much physically defensive. So that's Primarina done. Our Excadrill is done. And now we will go to Rotom Heat. So if we go into here, Rotom, and we'll look at Heat. And usually you need to be at least timid if we want to try and outspeed. So there's our speed ties. We've got Glamora, but I just like to do Gyarados as a benchmark, and then you also pick up Melodic while you're there. We'll also outspeed Goldengos, so that's something new to keep in mind. But yeah, we'll do 28 into that. We will be Citrus Berry. We will have Thunderbolt, and we're Rotom Heat, so we'll have Overheat for sure. So yeah, about 27 is a good benchmark, but we also run Nasty Plot. So we can drop that 152 down with the Nasty Plot and the Citrus Berry. You know, we can drop that down to, say, 25. Because as our, so it's either, yeah, 0, 25, or 27. But if our main one that we're trying to, you know, bank on, because yeah, at the moment we're not investing anything, and you could do that if you wanted to. Let's change that to focus on Thunderbolt, or is Fire going to be better? I think Thunderbolt for now gives us something in between. How are we looking? I reckon that's all right. Let's grab that. Somewhere in between. So that's for our Rotom heat. So we'll import that. And then we'll add our overheat, our nasty plot, and protect. So yeah, that gives us 144 hit points, 144 special attack, 127, and 147 speed. So we are pretty close to average Rotom heat for that one. Now we'll have our Scrafty Mega, which obviously has our item Scraftonite. Now let's do two things. So we'll keep the Pokedex going. Oh, we just closed the Pokedex because we can open a new one here and here. So Scrafty Mega, it's got pretty high defense and special defense, pretty low hit points. So I imagine the algorithm is just going to definitely put it all into hit points. We're definitely physical attacking. So, I mean, we've got Focus Punch if you're trying to avoid damage, but we'll come down. So I'm expecting close combat to be pretty popular. Not so much dynamic punch. Typically, we'll see a lot of drain punches and brick breaks. It's also fake out. Scrafty is very popular for fake out. And another thing that we can do on the website now is if we go to Pokedex and we have a look at our moves and, fake out, knowing the fake out tiers is pretty good. So you've got this little cloud icon that you can click here and it will filter our speed tiers data with fake out. So we can see Lopunny Mega is the fastest fake out, then Raichu Mega Y, Weavile, and yeah, I'd expect Incin and Scrafty to be pretty much down the bottom with Sableye. So, they're not fast, but they're intimidate users. But yeah, you can easily outfast these two. But that reference is available. So yeah, as I said, I'd expect to see some of them or if not all of them, to be having fake out. And then, yeah, we've got access to upper hand. We can have a look at our status moves. So, yeah, we've got access to sword stance, quick guard, dragon dance, coaching as well. Coaching might be a good one as well. Although I think dark fighting, I think Sneasler's still going to be around. But yeah, we'll have a look. Okay, so now we've had a look. We've got high jump, kick, head smash, crunch. So, and then we've also got knockoff, don't we? We can just search here. Yeah. So probably go knockoff. Knocking off your opponent's item is pretty effective. So let's have a look at Scrafty Mega. And if I clear everything, yeah, it's going to be, and I remove even the speed, it's going to dump everything in hit points because, yeah, we've got 172 defense. And it's actually with the spread even completely, yeah, 172 hit points with 172 defense and that. We're looking at speed. So let's see if we really need to outspeed any of these in the meta. So yeah, dark fighting, where probably, we can try and outspeed Tyranitar. Do we have any other options to fight Tyranitar? I mean, we've got Primarina, we've got Excadrill. Maybe Tyranitar doesn't need to be the threat. If we're not going to go for Jolly and we're going to go for Adamant, we've got some options here. Again, who else are we looking to? Maybe that's going to be a Jolly max speed King Gambit. There's definitely going to want to be outspeeding that, but as I said, we're at 32 plus. So yeah, we don't really need to invest too much. I think we're at 88. We don't have access to Tailwind unless Sceptile is tailwinding us. I haven't had a look at moveset yet. So maybe we just invest a little bit of speed. Something like 25 does a pretty broad, because then, yeah, otherwise it's up to 29. So if we at least invest 25, that allows us to go Adamant. We were going to go something like Drain Punch and Knockoff. So we can have a look at what that does. And yeah, there's some common common spreads there. And I think, yeah, 21, 20, 25, Adamant, Drain, Knockoff. We've got Intimidate. It's pretty much what we want to do. And then it's just a matter of what we do for the last move. So we'll import that. Oh yeah, we've got protect and fake out. So we'll pop them on the list and move on to the next one. Now we're off to Zoroark. And I think Zoroark's pretty uncomplicated because, we're definitely going to be special attacking. We're pretty fast. So yeah, we definitely want to be special. We could be melee. So we could do Shadow Ball. We could do Bitter Malice. And I want to try Bitter Malice. It's only 5 less base power, but we get to ruin their attack. 100% chance. And I'm pretty sure this is its um, unique ability or unique move. We also have Burning Jealousy, but that's only going to be for Pokemon that have had a bonus. Otherwise, we've got Hyper Voice, Psychic, Sludge Bomb, trying to be Gengar, Dark Pulse. Because gonna have a look to see what Dark is not going to be good against and try and pair something. But we've got a lot of options for the second move, whether we want to go. But then that's where this comes in. So yeah, it reckons Poltergeist is going to be pretty good. Flamethrower, they reckon there's going to be lots of grass and maybe Psychic. We can also then have a look at status moves. So we've got Agility, Calm Mind, Nasty Plot, Pain Split would be pretty. Also Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, I think let's use our Zoroark to Bitter Malice and Will-O-Wisp, and we can really, really try and target down physical attackers. So Zoroark Issue, and we'll scrap that. We can have this as like spell tag, do a bit of extra damage with our Bitter Malice. So that puts Bitter Malice up to 90. If I was correct in making sure that, so we're looking at no physical, special. Yeah, our Bitter Malice is Ghost. So with the spell tag, it makes it base power 90. We won't put the knockoff. Yeah, then we'll run Will-O-Wisp. We definitely want to be outspeeding quite high into the format. So, maybe not Taurus, but Staraptor, although that has Contrary. So that might not be great. We've got the Raichus, Metagross, maybe Flamethrower would be good, or Dark, although I think Ghost is sufficiently covering that. Yeah, we've got Gengar, Gallade. But yeah, definitely want to be running Bitter Malice. And then we'll definitely be running our Timid. And we're up here at, 32. So what can't we KO with Bitter Malice? So maybe the Skarmories and Staraptors, because we're Staraptors normal. So if we quickly go into here and we have a look at Staraptor, what's Fighting Mega? Because otherwise, yeah, it's normal flying normally, but the Mega is fighting flying, so it's a Halucha. But yeah, with Bitter Malice is going to not allow us to KO our normal types. So if we have a look at special and then, yeah, going to have a look at this, we could do Focus Blast, but 70% accuracy is not ideal. We could also do Psychic and try and catch out some Sneaslers, and that'll be equal with that. So I think so we'll go E, Psychic. And then, yeah, they'll be identical because they're the same base power. And if we got rid of our spell tag, then that'd be 75 and there'd be inconsistencies. So we'll put our spell tag on. That allows us to have two 90 base power moves, one with stab, one without. Gives us a pretty decent coverage. And yeah, we'll probably just crank the damage up, go straight to 29. And then that gives us 5 hit points. And we could even, if we wanted to, maybe drop to 25. What do we got for defense? Pretty low, 80-80. Is there a point where we invest in that at all or no? Only at that. So I think we'll just crank it up and we'll see how we'll go. So that's our Zoroark import. And then, yeah, we wanted to run Will-O-Wisp and we'll run a Protect. Then we come to Sceptile Mega. So again, just loading up the Pokedex and coverage for, so yeah, Leaf Storm, Focus Blast, Acrobatics. We are Dragon, so we've got access to Dragon Pulse. We have pretty significant special attack, so we'll jump straight to special. But yeah, we've got Lightning Rod, so we're immune to electricity, and we get special attack boost. So definitely want to be running Earth Power, Energy Ball, and Dragon Pulse. I think I don't want to overcomplicate it. We could run Vacuum Wave if we want a bit of priority in the team. But let's just have a quick look at status. So yeah, we've got no one in the team that can really tailwind us. We've got Dragon Cheer and Dragon Dance if we want to go attack and speed. But I think let's just go non-complicated. So yeah, we've got Sceptile Mega. We'll have a look at speed first. So we can clear that and have a look. Is there anyone, sorry, we need to be outspeeding? We can speed tie with Beedrill Mega, Greninja Mega, Dragapult. Yeah, I think we're going to need to. So if we Timid and we're Dragapult, we need at least 30, which is pretty good. We were going to go with our Energy Ball and say Dragon Pulse. So 9085, we put about 25, that puts about 11. Pretty low on defense. So we can drag that all the way down and doesn't really invest overly too much. It's more into the hit points, trying to get them up. But you can also kind of see, yeah, if we leave that at 156, we drag it just down there and gives us 160. So it just kind of tips us over. Now, special attack's 185. If we bring that up to 190, so yeah, hopefully that gives us a bit more bulk. But we get an extra few hit points here. We lose a bit in damage, which is pretty low for a mega, really, because all our other megas were hitting about 198 with decent bulk. So we'll see what Sceptile can do. Yeah, we'll pop that in there. We'll import. We were also going to run our Earth Power because that gives us access to an extra or a special ground move for our Excadrill's Earthquake. And then, yeah, we'll run Protect. So yeah, that's the so we were from Team Calculator. This is our Max Super Resist team. So if we go back to here, we can now load out into PokerPaste. We'll put me as the author, but not push that combination of buttons. And I want to grab, this is the name, and I will grab this as the notes. So I'll submit that. And so, yeah, if we were to, because I kind of jumped straight over that. So this is the max super resist team, right? So we're looking for the maximum amount of super resists. So if we have a look, we've got one here with Excadrill on rock. We've got one here on Rotom Heat with steel. We've got one here with our dark on Scrafty. We don't have any on Zoroark, and we've got two here on Sceptile. Plus, we've got our immunities where we need immunities. We've got our resists where we need resists. And you can see our total there is 19 over 39. And then we can see we've got offensive coverage against everything. We got pretty good and, only a few NVEs. And yeah, we can have a look across the board. We're pretty good for offense. And we can just have a look for defense. Yeah, bug fighting is going to ruin our team. We've got a few big holes here, but yeah, defensively, most teams fall over in the dual typing. But as I said, we'll build it up in the game and we'll get it on the ladder and we'll see how we go until. So if you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and I appreciate your support. Until next time, we'll see you on the ladder. Till then, take care and enjoy. Thank you.